Hello all and welcome to the channel all about economic board games. Today I've got a special video for you guys. We have 10 economic board games that are due out this year. Hopefully some of them have either hit Kickstarter already and hopefully be out in retail form, or maybe the Kickstarters are due out, or maybe they're even just out on retail already. Now in this video I'll be bringing you an overview of these games, a short insight just so you're aware of these games. It's an absolute must if you're an economic board game fan. Now I brought out a video last year called Top 10 Upcoming Games for this year, and in that game I had a host of goodies. You can see all 10 games featured here, but I am bringing you 10 new games. None of these will feature in this video, and I'd recommend going back to check out that one if you've not seen it. And will some of these games, or should I say would some of these games I'm showcasing you today have hit this list if I'd have known about them last year? There is one or two that definitely would have crept up into that list. So cracking on then, we have the first game up, no particular order. It is called Gigawatt. Now, I have brought you guys a video on this one, an overview and a run through. And this is a game all about energy transition. We can see the board here. It says it's a 1 to 6 players, 60 to 120 minutes, and it's that medium complexity game. You'll be taking charge of one of these nations. You can see all the different color regions on the board, and you're trying to manage your energy. Hopefully not have too much surplus in the form of those green cubes or too much of a deficit in those red cubes, because you'll be paying penalties if you can't shift that energy around or be efficient over that use. And as you shift it around, you can see those power lines going from nation to nation, and you can buy that infrastructure to send more there in the form of those little T blue miniatures on the board. And as you move that energy, at some point you're hoping to purchase the rights to close down some of your oil and coal factories, because that's the name of the game. You've got to shift those out and get renewable sources of ways of making that energy into your nation. And once you can hit demand, which is on the outside of the track, and you have a complete nation of renewable sources, you've triggered game end, and hopefully you've won it if no one else has hit it at the same time. Now there is a spot of luck in a few of the players I've had in this, which if I'd have played this game a few years ago, I would have said the word swingy. But with the way the energy market and price fluctuations and just how the whole economy is at the moment, I'd say this game is very fitting and very thematic to how the world currently is, and how the world may be when we start having reliance, or hopefully less reliance, on certain nations for providing us with this energy. So this one has featured on Kickstarter already. It's hoping to be with us by November, so hopefully we can squeeze in, if you didn't get part of that Kickstarter, some retail copies at the end of the year. So that, folks, is Gigawatt. At the number 2 here then, we have another game I've played and brought to you on the channel, Space Lane Trader. I've got an overview and a run through, and this is where you are spaceship captains competing to earn the most money trading goods between planets. Now it's got a wild player count on this, 1 to 8 players. It's not actually hit Kickstarter yet. Hopefully this will come to you guys in the next few months. It's got a long player what should I say, long player range, not player range, time range, 90 to 150 minutes. And I've played this game with 2, 3 and 4 player count. It's pretty lengthy, but it's very streamlined though. You're literally going back and forth amongst these planets. You've got these inner safer systems in the green there, and the yellow is slightly riskier in terms of you don't want to be caught getting smuggling goods. And it's literally got this market here where you're trying to take the certain types of goods when they have the highest multipliers. So you can kind of see the 1s and 1.5s and 2s, and that's how you're going to make the most profit. And are you going to reinvest that in your spaceships, where you get more cargo, more speed, more cargo capacity, and some nice little tweaks there. So really enjoyed this game, and I think this would have snuck in to my top 10 list as well. So this one, that medium complexity, but just be mindful on the time frame for this one. But a lovely, really lovely production. So the third game on my list is one I've brought to you guys recently on the channel, and that is Edict Solar Contention. Very, very nice game. Look at that cover art. How wonderful. Now, this one's a 2 to 5 player range. Says it's 100 to 180 minutes, which I think's a push, really. I've played 2 players, 3 players, and I've been it's been learning game really, and taking in all the rules and more of the prototype, and that's taken easily up to 3 hours. So hopefully they can adjust a few things here and there and make it slightly more streamlined. But essentially, you've got this solar system here, you've got the inner and the outer planets, and you're exploring them. You're trying to mine to get these resources to just have resources to be able to construct more stuff. You're to be depleting those resources and taking them back to Earth to meet these edicts, which are basically these kind of what they call licenses that Earth set in the near future, because they're venturing out into the galaxy, and you've got these organizations that you'll be taking charge of, and you can see an image on the next slide of Alazon, which basically represents Amazon. And as you take control of these sort of asymmetrical setups and you have one of these companies, you'll be using your certain actions to go out there, get these resources, bring them back and complete these edicts, which is the flow of the game really. As you progress through these edicts, there's 6 in a short game, 10 in a medium game, and if you want to play a mighty game, it's 16. So this image here, you've got a close-up of Mars and how you can see the resources, and you can try and deplete them, try and mine them, some lovely miniatures, and you're trying to explore further out. You can see just at the bottom right there's the propulsion tree. You'll be trying to go up and get more VPs and use this really clever engineered solar layer that gives you transportation across the network. And on this one here, excuse me, you've got the mission control, which is the crux of the game, the actions. You're trying to get these executives to get more skill level. They give you more access to actions. So really nicely done. This similar to the use in Scythe, if you've played that one, how you just literally go from one action to the other, and you can increase it and get more use out of those executives, hire and recruit new ones as well. So very nice addition to the game, this one, and it is coming out soon. Hopefully they're in the sort of prototype stage. Hopefully this will get to kickstart in the next few months, and go and check out the video if you're after sort of more insight into this one. But I'm very enamored with it so far. I'm really looking forward to it when it comes out. So the fourth game we have is a game I've not played yet. It is on Tabletop Simulator. Really caught my attention for the theme, this one, and it's called Age of Comics: The Golden Years. A very unique theme, not really come across it before. And in this one, you're running a comic book publishing company during the golden age of comics. It's a 1 to 4 player game. I'm noticing a theme here of solo player option in most of these games. It says it takes sort of 50 to 120 minutes, and it says it's a medium complexity game. Now you've got a bit of a closer up of the board here, and it's based around worker placement, in which you'll be playing the role of a fictional comic book publishing company during that golden age, during the 1930s to the 1950s. And there's 6 main tasks. You've got this hiring aspect, developing, you've got these ideas you'll be trying to attain, you'll be printing them, selling them, attaining royalties. And when a player prints a comic book, you'll be getting money and various things. So typical worker placement. Says it lasts around 5 rounds, and the objective is to accumulate the highest number of fans and make the most money by publishing those comics and having the best portfolio. We've got a closer up view of here of some of the artwork. So yeah, really stylized. I really like the look of this. It'll be something quite different in the collection as well. This isn't out yet. It's early days. Hopefully the Kickstarter will be out in the next few months. So the 5th game we have is called Age of Champagne, a very sleek looking game here. I have managed to play on the Tabletop Simulator. Very interesting one, this. It is probably for you guys who are fans of that kind of viticulture. I'm not saying it's on the same level, but it does some slightly different twists. It's very sleek looking, and in this one you are put in the boots of a young cellar master who inherits a family winery. And in this sort of competitive mode, so I'm assuming there may be an introduction of a cooperative mode as well, you've got these choices where you'll be making wise investments, optimizing the processing of your precious grapes to meet the demand of different markets. You can see at the top right, you've got different areas of the world you'll go into, and you've got these 3 versatile workers, they call them, as you place them on various places on the left, and you'll be trying to attain resources, your usual stuff, trying to gain these contracts. And interestingly, you can see in the middle, you've got this kind of sustainability track you need to keep an eye on. You've got the purple, orange, green and red tokens there. You've got some event cards that come out. You can see your player board at the bottom. Similar way, you've got these layers to it. You're trying to develop your infrastructure, your capability to get these cubes to turn them into, you see it says assemblage, where you turn various types of colours goes into those certain champagnes. So a very interesting game, this one. We've got another close-up here. Loads of variety on those numbered 1 to 7 there. You can see the placements of your workers. Getting there first and second gives you access to different ones and slight bonuses. So yep, keep an eye out for this one. Hopefully that'll come on a Kickstarter version in the next couple of months. Number 6 then is a lighter game, and I kind of like to mix things up. It's got a very quirky name. I haven't got a lot of information on this one other than this image here. Hot Diggity Dog. Look at that. Now in this game, you are hot dog vendors in a baseball stadium competing to turn dogs into dollars. 2 to 5 players, it says, plays in about 30 to 75 minutes. It's probably going to be on the lighter complexity one. And it says you are a hot dog vendor in a brand new baseball stadium looking to make a name for yourself. You've got to get out there, sell those hot dogs to the hungry fans, sell to get the money. And as you go around, you've got your hot dog supply box. You'll be hitting the stands, looking to turn your selected inventory into fistfuls of cash as you move around the different sections of the grandstands, and you're looking for the best opportunities to turn those dogs into dollars. And again, it's just that lightweight complexity with that economic theme. I really like games like, what's it called? I've completely forgotten the game now. It's about upgrading your pigs. Oh, Pig Farm. No, what's it called? Oh, it'll come back to me. But anyway, these lighter weight complexity games, Happy Pigs, that's it, Happy Pigs, folks. If you played that one, I'm hoping this will be a similar vibe, but with a slightly different theme, sort of that simpler complexity, but smooth as you play. So, yep, Hot Diggity Dog. At 7 then, we have a game I definitely think would have been in my top 10 during my previous video. And this is a re-implementation, a reskin of Mombasa. And this one is Sky Mines, brought to you by Alexander Pfister. Another solo option. So you got 1 to 4, says it plays 75 to 150 minutes. Heavier complexity. And in this one, you're mining the moon and investing in promising companies to make yourself a fortune. So a little bit of brief from the geek here. 50 years ago, humanity began mining the moon and asteroids, and for decades, that task was firmly kept in the hands of the world government. But the turmoils of recent years have caused the enterprise to collapse. Now, adventurous companies and private investors take to the sky to revive the mining network. And as investors, you're trying to earn the most. Cripecoin, very much a play on crypto coin there, over the course of 7 rounds, and you'll be doing this by investing in mined resources and companies, and by spreading their outposts so you can improve your earnings by supporting your scientist research and by having them collect various resources. So I really like Mombasa. This reskin looks fantastic, hopefully avoiding that whole controversial theme in the previous one. And I've got a closer up here of the board so you can see similarities with where your little sort of miniatures, well, your pieces come out, and the outer tracks there where you're trying to develop, in the similar player boards with a load of stuff to go on. So yeah, this one isn't out yet. Look out for this one soon. At 8 then, we have a game in a similar universe to a game I brought you guys, Peak Oil Profiteer. So I've played this one on Tabletop Simulator, had a lot of fun with this one. It's in that whole universe of Peak Oil, which is another game I brought to you on the channel, and you are entering this country that's engulfed in a most unfortunate civil war, and it needs your help with the oil. Again, a solo option, all the way up to 5 players, takes 30 to 60 minutes. My play took a little bit longer on Tabletop Simulator, trying to move the mouse and flip things around, so hopefully it plays in that time. And it's that medium complexity game, so you can see the board here, closer up view. I love the artwork with the Peak Oil universe, that minimalistic type view, very streamlined, but this one offers some very different twists. So as a top executive of an oil corporation, you are sent to this war-torn nation that's got a lot of oil and no one who can help sell it, and that's where you come in. Now, it's got a card-driven tactical game, it says, features area control, which is a big part of this one, simultaneous action selection, and a lot of interaction between players, which is very true. You're trying to second-guess your opponents constantly. And as you progress through the rounds, players will improve their workforce by investing in powerful consultants and vie for influence over the nation's free wearing factories. factions. So you got these nations, the government, the National Liberation Front, and the guerrilla militia, and you're trying to negotiate between these, double guess your competitors, blackmail politicians, sell weapons, a host of goodness as you make money and take control and vie for control over these different oil fields on the board there. And here's a slight closer up image of the bottom right of the board where these queues move along and it fluctuates sort of prices and what have you on the bottom. Okay, moving on to the 9th game. We have one that's pretty much under the radar. I've been in touch with the publisher, should be coming out soon. It's called One Earth, and this is another lightweight game, 20 to 40 minutes it says, and a 2 to 5 player range, and it's nations competing to achieve prosperity, but must cooperate to ensure Earth survives. And there's a lot of games based around the sustainability and nations doing the right thing at the moment, and this is another one that I think just has something a little bit different for my collection, really. And it's a fun climate change game. It says you and your friends you play is one of these mighty nations competing with one another to ensure your citizens prosper and maintain the highest living standards. So yeah, keep an eye out for this one. I've got a few images of the cards here. It's quite quirky looking. And this oil industry. So yeah, looking forward to hearing more and seeing more on this one. And the last game I have for you then, so finally, number 10, another Champagne game, if you can guess, but this is a heavier one. It's already out, the Kickstarter, hopefully be out due this summer, hopefully get some retail versions later on in the year. And it is Dompierre. So this is where you're planting, harvesting, producing and selling, distributing your best champagne all over the world. 2 to 4 players. It's got 60 to 120 minutes, it says. I'll be very curious if it plays in 60 minutes, but we'll see. And it's heavier complexity. And we've got a couple of images here of the board, that typical worker placement by the looks of it. And in this one, you are responsible for one of the oldest champagne maisons, producing, selling wine all over Europe and hopefully over the Atlantic as well. There's a local economy you'll be trying to boost, increase employment, and your brand hopefully get that universally recognised. And to make all this happen, you will require a chain of actions that start in your vineyard. You will need to look for continuous improvement, constantly react to your opponents, and optimise your choices to build the most prestigious champagne maison. So yeah, I love games like Viticulture. As I say, Age of Champagne is another one out this year, that's Champagne. So I haven't yet to play Vinos, hopefully get a play of that at some point soon. So yeah, these games very much intrigue me, that solid building, the levels of your infrastructure up your engine and just meeting those orders and things like that. So if you like that sort of thing, check out this one. And there we are, folks, 10 new games, hopefully give you some inspiration to go and check them out, something you might not have spotted there. There we are, folks. Enjoy. See you all soon.